Welcome back to Living Local. It is that time of the week where we meet up with Movie Mike to get his thoughts on recent releases and look at what's new in theaters. He joins us, of course, in studio today.
A pleasure, as
Mike,
always.
Great to have you here,
Thank
as
you.
always. Now, let's start off, of course, with the reviews. What did you think of the new Cineplex release, Freaky?
Freaky, okay. I was actually really looking forward to Freaky. Maybe stupidly, I was looking forward to this because it has a pretty fun setup. It's basically Freaky Friday, but as a slasher flick. And so the basic story behind this is that Vince Vaughn plays a hulking psychopath named the Butcher. He attacks a teenage girl, played by Catherine Newton, but he also has possession of an ancient Aztec knife that when stabbing someone, you basically swap souls. And so it's just like Freaky Friday. So this very young petite girl becomes basically a crazy serial killer, and Vince Vaughn becomes a 16-year-old girl trying to convince all of her friends that, no, I'm not the killer, I swear. I'm actually your buddy from high school. Sounds fun, right?
It does, actually.
Should be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
Oh,
the big problem is that neither character is that interesting in the first place. And so you have Vince Vaughn playing your standard kind of, lumbering killer, and she plays kind of a normal teenage girl with a cell phone, addiction. And so when they swap bodies, there's nothing for either of them to do except for the actors to be, okay, I'm a hulking killer, and for Vince Vaughn to like flutter his hands and shriek like a girl. And it's like, and so it's a lost opportunity because it could have been really interesting and kind of eccentric and goofy funny, and instead it's just, once you get the joke of it, that's all you get.
It just flops. Okay,
Yeah.
one question I have is, does Vince Vaughn at least break out of his typical character? I feel like Vince Vaughn plays the same character in every movie. It's like this dopey, like,
it's
big guy.
exhausting, yeah. I mean, he does in the sense that he gets to play, I guess, 16-year-old girl, so that's something different.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting for like his great thing. I mean, we've been waiting for like 20 years for
come
like
on,
a new
Vince
great
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn thing. So,
Well, man, I love the concept. Sad that it kind of flopped
Too
there,
bad.
Mike.
Yes,
but
indeed.
let's move on to A Rainy Day in New York. That was a new home viewing release. What did you think of this one?
This one I quite liked, even though it's not very good. I'll try to explain my reasoning for this. This is kind of a notorious-ish Woody Allen movie that got made 3 years ago, but then there was a big problem where Amazon pulled all of Woody Allen's movies in wake of Me Too, and so this got released last year finally in like Poland and Italy and a lot of places in Europe, and finally got released here last month in kind of bigger locales. Now it's on home video. If you've ever seen a Woody Allen movie, it's basically like every Woody Allen movie you've ever seen. It's couples walking in the rain in New York City and talking about life and Kierkegaard and death, and so there's nothing really new in it at all. But I've been a huge fan of his work for 40 plus years. And so it was just a treat to kind of hear traditional Woody Allen rhythms and the style, and the cast is great. Timothée Chalamet is the lead. He's doing basically a Woody Allen impression, so he's not all that terrific. But you do have Elle Fanning, who's great. Selena Gomez is wonderful. Liev Schreiber is in this. Jude Law.
Those are some big names.
Huge names, yeah, and they're all terrific. And the movie is really funny. Aside from Timothée Chalamet himself, the supporting cast is tremendous. So it was absolutely worth a rental. And I did it while it was really rainy this past weekend. So I just laid on my couch and enjoyed a rainy day in New York and a rainy day in the Quad Cities. It was exactly what I needed.
Oh, perfect
It worked
fit.
well.
I'm curious, what do you appreciate so much about Woody Allen's style?
I don't know. It's his sensibility, I guess. It's very neurotic. It's very kind of angsty and really literate, and his references are clever and funny. I've always dug his movies. Yeah,
sounds like he puts a lot of detail in there. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, Mike, there are actually 2 new movies opening up in Davenport this weekend. I know, this is craziness. Now, first up, we have the historical drama The Last Vermeer.
Yes.
So what's this about?
Okay, this is actually based on a true story. This is right after World War II. They discovered a bunch of Vermeer paintings that were sold illegally, that were stolen and then sold to the Nazis. And so this is about a Danish, I believe, investigator who discovers a Vermeer being sold and wants to find out who it is who's doing the selling. They wind up meeting this Dutch man played by Guy Pearce, who is apparently responsible for it, but it turns out they're not actually Vermeers. He's an art forger and was basically selling these to the Nazis to get Nazi money. as reparations for the Nazi atrocities. And so it's basically a detective story that kind of meets a courtroom drama, and with a pretty strong cast. Guy Pearce is always great. An actress named Vicky Krieps plays one of their assistants. She was from Phantom Thread, a really terrific movie a couple years back. I don't know. It looks very serious. It looks serious, but it also looks juicy. You know, it looks like that's a pretty interesting story. So,
and the fact that I love movies that are based on true events. Like, to me, it makes it obviously more real to you. Like, this actually happened. And I love war movies as well. So
absolutely.
I think that this one has a lot of promise.
Could be a lot of fun.
Definitely. All right, Mike, another new movie is the Jackie Chan action flick Vanguard.
Okay, I'm going to be of no help on this one at all because I have seen the trailer several times and read about it and still am not quite sure what's going on. Here's what I do know. This is actually a Chinese film, and so it's being presented both in Chinese with English subtitles and also in dubbed versions. This is about an accountant who becomes in trouble with a bunch of mercenaries in China, and Jackie Chan runs a security company that hires a bunch of mixed martial arts talents, I guess. And so basically it's all about the good guys versus the bad guys with a lot of martial arts in it. That's really all I know.
All right.
But Jackie Chan, what a legend. I mean, I'm looking forward to it just to see. He's 66 years old now.
What?
He has been busting bones for us for decades, doing some of the most insane stunts ever seen in movies. So just the fact that he can move at age 66 is kind of thrilling. And so I kind of want to support him just in that. And see, if I'm moving half that well in 15 years, my gosh, that'll make my day. So we'll see. Either way, 2 new movies. I'm not sure that's happened since January.
Right, I know. So at least we have something to be excited about, even though we're not really sure what Vanguard is about.
Who knows?
I mean, at least it's new.
I'll let you know next time.
Okay, thanks, Mike, so much for being here.
A pleasure, you bet.
Again, the movies we've discussed today are Freaky, A Rainy Day in New York, The Last Vermeer, and Vanguard. You can read Mike's movie reviews inside the latest River Cities Reader on stands everywhere and online at rcreader.com. We'll also have those details posted on ourquadcities.com.